the story of Moses, a tale of courage, deliverance, and faith as he leads the Israelites from slavery in Egypt to freedom. As you close your eyes and listen, imagine the gentle patter of rain, soft rumbles of thunder rolling through the sky, and the distant whispers of hope as we begin. Long ago, the children of Israel lived in Egypt. They had grown into a great nation, but they were not free. The Egyptians, led by a cruel Pharaoh, enslaved the Israelites, forcing them to work under harsh conditions. As the Israelites cried out to God for help, he heard their suffering, and he raised up a leader, a man named Moses, who would lead them to freedom. But Moses was no ordinary man, born during a time when Pharaoh had ordered all Hebrew baby boys to be killed. Moses was hidden by his mother. She placed him in a basket and sent him floating down the river. By God's grace, the basket was found by Pharaoh's daughter, who took Moses in and raised him as her own in the palace of Egypt. As Moses grew older, he saw the suffering of his people. One day, after witnessing the cruel treatment of a Hebrew slave, Moses acted in anger and fled from Egypt to the land of Midian, where he became a shepherd. Years passed, until one day, while tending his flock, Moses came upon a bush that burned but was not consumed by the flames. From within the flames, God spoke to Moses. "Moses, Moses," God said, "I have seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cries. I have come to deliver them. Go to Pharaoh and tell him to let my people go." Moses was afraid. He doubted his ability to lead, but God reassured him, saying, "I will be with you." And so, Moses returned to Egypt with his brother Aaron by his side. He went before Pharaoh, the most powerful man in the land, and said, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says, 'Let my people go.'" But Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he refused. He increased the Israelites' burdens, making their work even more unbearable. Yet God had a plan. He sent Moses back to Pharaoh, and through Moses he performed mighty signs and wonders. One by one, God sent plagues upon Egypt. First, the waters of the Nile turned to blood, and the fish died. Then, frogs covered the land, followed by gnats and flies that tormented the people. Still, Pharaoh refused to let the Israelites go. More plagues followed. Disease struck the livestock. Boils afflicted the Egyptians. Hail and fire rained down from the sky. Locusts devoured the crops. And then, darkness covered the land for 3 days. But Pharaoh's heart remained hard until the final plague. On that night, God sent the angel of death throughout Egypt, striking down the firstborn of every Egyptian family. But God protected the Israelites. He commanded them to mark their doorposts with the blood of a lamb, and the angel of death passed over their homes. This is why the Israelites celebrate Passover, to remember God's deliverance. Finally, Pharaoh's heart was broken. He summoned Moses and said, "Go, take your people and leave Egypt." The Israelites gathered their families, their flocks, and their belongings, and set out on their journey to freedom. God led them through the wilderness, appearing as a pillar of cloud by day, and a pillar of fire by night, guiding their way. But soon after they had left, Pharaoh's heart hardened once more. He regretted letting the Israelites go and sent his army, with chariots and horses, to pursue them. As the Israelites reached the Red Sea, they saw the Egyptian army approaching, they were trapped, with the sea before them and the army behind them. The people cried out in fear, but Moses said to them, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today." Then God told Moses to stretch out his staff over the sea, and as he did, the waters parted, forming walls of water on both sides, with dry ground in the middle. The Israelites walked through the sea, safe and unharmed, when Pharaoh's army tried to follow. God caused the waters to crash down, drowning the Egyptians. The Israelites were free. On the other side of the sea, the Israelites celebrated. They sang songs of praise to God for delivering them from their enemies, and God promised to be with them, guiding them to the promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey, where they would find peace. Moses led the people in song, saying, "The Lord is my strength and my defense. He has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will praise him. The Lord reigns forever and ever." And so, the people of Israel journeyed forward, trusting in God's promise of peace and freedom. My dear friends, as you reflect on the story of Moses and the Exodus, remember that even in the face of great obstacles, God provides a way. Through faith and perseverance, Moses led his people from bondage to peace. And in your own life, may you find strength in knowing that no matter the challenges you face,